Alright, so welcome to assessment in EDTE 4200. And this week in the reading and the exploring, I want you to know that the reading is optional, tech tools to enhance multiple choice, why assessment is important. You can refer to any of these in the Flipgrid if you like. The exploring is also optional. You're going to see Kahoot, Socrative, Plickers. These are all software or websites where you could kind of put a question up on the projector, and then the kids can select it or compete against each other in games, and it's pretty good stuff that you can check out. For this week, you just got to make sure that you complete the Flipgrid prompt, and you need to keep working on your tech quest. You should be close to 100 points at the end of the week. And I also have an optional tutorial on making a Google form for assessments. That's a activity on the tech quest that is available for points. So the nuts and bolts of assessment: formative assessments are the day-to-day monitoring. Summative assessments are benchmarks and unit tests. So kind of what you're doing day-to-day in the class, that's a formative assessment. What you're doing over the long term to measure how kids are doing, that would be a summative assessment. Now, what I really want you to understand in this video is that assessments can be creative, and assessments can measure learning in unique ways. The running joke is that we often say, give me a thumbs up if you understand, and that's kind of the worst way that you can check for understanding. But I'm going to be showing you some cool ways to check and see whether or not kids are understanding the work, and these ways are creative. So the first one that I really want you to understand or to really know about is that technology could make some of these tasks actually easier. So in Google Docs, you could actually have voice typing. And where this is important is because sometimes when I was assessing kids in 6th grade, inevitably I would start looking at their writing, and that's kind of what I would get hung up on. But that's not what I was trying to assess them on. I was trying to assess whether or not they understood the content, or whether or not they could formulate a paragraph. When I would have the students use voice typing, what that would do is that would make sure that I wasn't penalizing them on how they were writing, with their hand, with their penmanship, but how they were able to put their ideas on the paper. And this was important for some kids who had poor penmanship and were having trouble with that part. Technology can also give kids a creative outlet. I had students in 6th grade that were having trouble beginning their writing, and the writing was supposed to be just a simple little narrative piece, a paragraph, a story, or a little 2-paragraph story. So what we started doing one day during break on my iPhone, I had told the kids that anybody that wanted to make a breaking news story, that during break we would go out there and we would record it. But if you wanted to make a story, you have to wear a tie. And then all of a sudden I had all these little 6th graders show up wearing ties that day, and we went out there. They had little scripts, and they made their breaking news stories. And then after they had the stories, we turned those scripts into paragraphs. So we kind of did a little reverse, rather than do your work and then we'll do an engagement piece or an enrichment piece afterwards. We did the enrichment piece first, and then that led to better writing from the kids. So I highly recommend you watch this little video showing how Hulk came and smashed a little brick stand at their school. Technology can also make some of these assessments personalized. You'll see in these video tutorials that I was having the kids create math tutorials, and some of them would start doing it in their home language. So on the one on the left hand side here, you'll see that the boys doing it in Arabic, and it was cool because I wasn't able to get the students. This was an intervention class at the 9th grade level, and I was having trouble with being able to measure where the kids were. But once they started making their own tutorials in their home language, they really got into it, and then through the tutorials I was actually able to see whether or not they were able to get it. And then the really unique part was when the students on their own started to upload them to YouTube and then share the work that they were doing at home. And I particularly enjoyed this one because the boy came back to school and he told me, hey, I showed my mom the video, and she told me that I was really smart and she couldn't believe that I made it. And so and then and there we made a home connection that wasn't there before. Now doing the same video tutorial thing, what we did here with 6th graders was during class, rather than just have kids come up to the board and answer questions, what I would do is I would ask students to come up and record a video of them answering the question. And then eventually I had gathered enough videos to where, and I'm checking for understanding at the same time, but then I gathered enough videos to turn this into a little quiz, and then I give the kids the quiz, and the kids are able to check for their answers. And it was pretty cool watching, because some of the kids who really I wasn't very engaging to them, but they sure liked watching the videos that their friends and their neighbors did. And then some of them began to prepare themselves because they knew that it was going to be their time to record their video. So technology can definitely make some of these tasks personalized, and video tutorials is a big thing that can engage kids and also show how they're progressing. This is another video tutorial, and this one was at the 9th grade level. The students made word problems, kind of like with the zombie apocalypse, and then showed how they can solve the problems. Now this one here was one of my favorite activities, and so I had worksheets that I was supposed to give the kids, and then I said, you know what? Instead of the worksheets that they have, I'm going to make my own worksheets, as if my worksheet's going to be better. So I made the worksheet about our high school football program and the football field. Well, guess what? My worksheet didn't engage the kids any more than the regular worksheet. So then I realized, well, wait a second, if we're talking about the football field, why not just take them out to the football field and go out there and actually measure things and see what the problems look like in real life. And so there we went out there, a little parade, measured the field, did different things, measured, estimated what the size was, and then they created little scale models out of paper, and then eventually they created 3D models. And now this assessment was really cool because then at the end of the year on the SBAC, there was a very, very similar question, and my kids had been working on that project, and it turned out to be very beneficial. And then these are the components of the problem, and you could check those out on the presentation on Blackboard. Now this is one of my favorite ones, and this shows that technology can make the task unique and the assessment unique. So what they were supposed to do in this problem is they were supposed to create like a picture or a poster of a city, and then have the different parts of the city correspond to the different parts of a cell. And this was all based on our science curriculum, and it had all the standards attached to it. Well, I had the kids go on and actually create the model in 3D, and then so here you could see the power plants are the mitochondria, the fence is the cell wall, the storage units are the vacuoles, and then let's see, a couple other ones have pieces. The mayor's office is the nucleus. The police station is the cell membrane. And if you have your phone and you check this out on your phone, what you can do is you can click here on View in VR, and what it will do is it will actually it'll actually bring it up in virtual reality. And so again, think about it. You could give the kids a little quiz. Remember what the cell membrane is? It's like the police station. Or you can have them do something unique and exciting that they will remember. And then ultimately this one, they're publishing it, and they're going to keep that online for a long time. So these are some the more creative ways that I've been able to use assessment. Again, there's going to be those times where you do it the regular old, show me a thumbs up. But let's also remember that our little kids are absolutely packed with knowledge, and they can always do these amazing things to kind of take the learning further than we even intended, and it's impressive, and it makes it it makes it a joy to see those things in the classroom, and it's kind of those moments that we live for while we're teaching. So thank you for watching, and these are some of the online assessments that you could check out, more traditional things, but again, they're all optional.